Welcome back to Breakfast Central with Olisa and Felicity this wonderful Wednesday morning. We're going straight to our impact topic this morning. It takes us to Tanzania, where the sudden death of Tanzania's President John Magufuli has seen his Vice President Samia Hassan sworn in as his successor. Now, this makes her Tanzania's first female president. Magufuli won his second term last in October. He centralized power and courted controversy, if you may, a number of fronts. Now, the most recent was by claiming that Tanzania didn't have any COVID and encouraging people to take herbal concoctions to prevent it instead.
During her inaugural speech, she called for unity among Tanzanians, saying that now is not the time to look at what has passed, but rather to look at what is to come. Despite President Hassan's forward-looking stance, questions remain about how Magufuli's legacy will shape her time in office. Let's take a look at that inaugural speech, and then we will bring in our guest.
This is a time to stand together and get connected. It's time to bury our differences, show love to one another, and look forward with confidence to build a new Tanzania that President Magufuli aspired to.
All right, then, Tanzanian President Samia Hassan speaking there. But we're now joined by Elsie Eyakuze, who joins us right here on Breakfast Central. She's a media consultant and columnist for the East African newspaper. Good morning, Elsie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Right then, speaking at her inauguration, President Hassan gave little indication that she intended to change course from Magufuli. What do you make of about her speech?
I think that what she meant to convey was that the good works that he has begun will be continued under her regime, so that people should not fear that perhaps, she's going to completely change everything, because there's a lot of good things that he initiated, and she intends, I think, to honor his legacy and continue the good work.
A major test for her presidency will be how she deals with the pandemic, coming from the background of what Magufuli did with handling of the pandemic in your country. How do you see her taking up that challenge? She's been seen in public sometimes without a face mask, but now that she is president, is his footsteps going to continue, or you see her taking a different path?
Well, first of all, I have to clarify that before Magufuli unfortunately passed away, things had already started changing. Actually, the government had changed its tune, and there were public announcements that people should, in fact, wear masks, sanitize, and try to observe social distancing. So that change was already coming. And it is my hope that it will continue, that we will now start addressing the pandemic more directly and more comprehensively. But I do not dare to speak on behalf of my president. She is still presiding over the state funeral of her predecessor and has quite politely declined, I think, to talk about herself and her intentions at this time. And out of respect for the office of the president, I think I shall also wait to see. She will let us know.
Fair enough. She will have to unveil. There's a 20-day mourning period, but questions still abound as to how she will address his legacy. We could see the emotion she shared during the funeral. There's also the perception that there is no real democracy in Tanzania. Do you share that thinking? If not, what do you see coming up? Do you see a more improved democratic system in Tanzania, or will there still be some restriction on media freedom and civil liberties?
Well, to begin with, there is democracy in Tanzania. There always has been. And like any other democracy, we go through periods of joy and things going well, and periods when we could do better. And it's true that in the last 5 years, we have seen a deterioration in the quality of our democracy. But I have to say that the tone adopted by all of the officials who've addressed us as Tanzanians since the swearing in of President Hassan has been very conciliatory. It has been inviting. With every speech, they have thanked not only the media for supporting them in informing the public about all of the events. They've also mentioned their appreciation for the support of the opposition parties. So what I read into that is a change in tone and a willingness to start opening up again and create relationships so that we can work on improving our democracy again. So I'm optimistic.
Oh, all right. Elsie, it sounds like from what you're saying, it looks like it will be a more liberal approach from Hassan's government.
Yes, I am optimistic. That seems to be the message that is subtly being given. Like I said, we are in national mourning, so this is not the appropriate time to start talking about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That would be gauche of her.
Okay. We understand that there's still a country to be run, even during mourning period. So as a citizen, what would be some of the agenda you would like to see after this period of mourning that she will take on to show strong leadership to get to the people?
Well, I hope that she will address the pandemic, first and foremost. I hope that she will lift a lot of the restrictions on the opposition, on the media. I hope that she will address the economic difficulties that we are having and make it easier for entrepreneurs to work again. I think that these are the most immediate concerns that I have, and that our civil liberties are respected again.
What is the sentiment in your country? Because it's, for a lot of persons, it's a novelty, a woman being the president of a country. What's the prevailing sentiment, in spite of the mourning in the country, having your first female president?
I would say that it's a mixture, but in general, there seems to be a lot of happiness. Madam Hassan is a seasoned statesman, like I said, and she was a good vice president. And we trust that she will display strong leadership. And she has begun that already by informing us during one of her addresses that she is the president and the commander-in-chief and a woman, but president first. So I think that we are happy, of course, a lot of women, a lot of feminists, a lot of democratic-minded Tanzanians. There is some concern, of course. We are an African country, that is inevitable. But in general, I would say that there's been quite a lot of optimism, and that makes me happy.
All right, Elsie. Madam Hassan joined politics back in 2000 when she was elected as a special seat member in Zanzibar House of Representatives. She has remained in politics, the political scene since then. 21 years later, she is now president. What do you know about her politics before she became Magufuli's vice?
Well, I learned recently that she actually worked with civil society before she decided to join politics. And what drove her to join politics was that she would work with the community on the ground. And then when she would hear politicians talk about the situation and what they were doing to address citizens' concerns, she would see the discrepancy between what she would see working in an NGO and what they were saying. So this motivated her to enter politics so that she could address these issues and be honest about it. And then she ended up becoming a minister twice. So she had about 10 years of experience as a minister before she became vice president. And she carried out those duties for 5 years quite competently. So that's a brief summary of her journey.
All right. Okay. Before we let you go, Elsie, Madam Hassan is now the president of the country. Yes, we know she's a woman, but we know the country is still in mourning. Magufuli, from the indications that we've seen in Tanzania, was a loved president. Hence why we're having this National Day of mourning. When all the mourning and the tears, are finished, are we seeing Tanzanians embracing Madam Hassan as president now? Will she be loved the same way, perhaps, as Magufuli was and followed politically?
Well, we've been calling her Mama Samia as a term of respectful endearment already for 5 years. So she already has a certain status with us. And so we are happy to follow her, to support her, and to embrace her as our first female president. We're very proud of that fact. As she begins her duties after our period of mourning ends. I think we are all anticipating good things.
Thank you very much, Elsie, for your time on Breakfast Central.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.